100 million and only less than 10% survived. Some of them committed suicide because the memories of Africa was too strong and too great. They couldn't adjust. I remember the story of one who got a hold of a ragged piece of glass and he cut his throat. They got this slave and they sewed his neck and stitched the piece of skin together. He broke loose, ran up to the mast of the ship, took the string, ripped it out, jumped overboard to try to deliver a message to the people. Don't give up. I'll give up my life. I'll endure the pain. Look in my face. See the courage. You teach the children. We will never give up. That was one of the indigenous leaders of the race, not appointed by whites, but he is recognizing his people and he wanted to express to them their destiny. You got to this country, my brothers and sisters. When you read the book, you will see in clear terms. They have a picture of a brother who still has the scar tissue that looks about 6 inches thick on his skin, the collation on his skin before he died. They whipped the slave in this particular plantation every day of the year except Christmas. And when one brother asked, "Why are you whipping us? We have not done anything," he was told, "That's the reason. Because you haven't done anything, we just want to make sure you don't do anything." Many of the slaves who came from Africa were Muslims. In Brazil, 80%. And in this country, according to Mr. Austin in his book, the Muslims in the antebellum South, at least 50%. At least 50% of you. Why is that important? You have to go and ask Mr. Edward Blyden why. One of the greatest minds that we have ever had in our race. One of the most profound philosophers and intellectuals we have ever produced. Born in the Virgin Islands, he was brought to America because he was so precocious as a young teenager. He tried to go to Princeton so he could become a preacher. They said, "We don't accept blacks, not even in the name of Jesus." A black man. He became a Christian minister. And he traveled all over West Africa to find out what was the best educational system to make the black man live. Because colonialism was teaching the black man in Africa he was nothing. Said you had nothing to do with the Mongolians. You had nothing to do with the Chinese. You had nothing to do with the Asians. You had nothing to do with the Arabs. You are nothing. Edward Blyden said, "I must save the people through education." He wrote a book that you must read. I bought the rights to the book. I own it. The name of the book is Christianity, Islam in the Negro Race, written by a Christian minister. And he said he watched very carefully and he was shocked because when the African became a Muslim, within days he was a new man. That's what Blyden wrote in West Africa. I know some people told you that Islam corrupted Africa and destroyed Africa, but they weren't there. This man was on the scene. An eyewitness said that I can tell whether the village is a Christian village or a Muslim village. If the people are illiterate, it's a Christian village. If the people are beggars, it's a Christian village. I didn't say, don't look at me funny. This is Brother Black. He said if the people have pride, it's a Muslim village. If the people know how to read and write, it's a Muslim village. If the people are developing an economy, it's a Muslim village. That was the Christian minister, because he was honest. He was going beyond religion as an institution. He was looking at the people. The Muslims knew about the Prophet Muhammad. They knew about it. Have you heard about Al-Jahis? A brother born in Iraq wrote a book called The Glories of the Black Race in 800 AD. The Glories of the Black Race. He summarized all the things that Africa did in the Middle East by the year 800 AD. He wrote 200 books. This is just one of them. A black man born in Basra, where the United States tried to wipe it off the map in recent months. But this black man wrote, and I wanted to see what he had to say because he was there. I wasn't there. He said that the grandfather of the Prophet Muhammad was an African. That's what he said. He said that the mother of the Prophet Muhammad was a slave. He said the Prophet Muhammad was of African descent. If you say he's not, tell me why you say so. You bring me someone that lived during that day that said he wasn't. I read the hadith, and the Prophet Muhammad said we must always remember the people in southern Egypt, in Sudan. And his companion said, why? He said, because they are our relatives. So if the Prophet Muhammad recognized the Africans as his relatives, what does that make him? If he wasn't ashamed to be of African descent, what are you trying